Welcome to The Road Less Traveled, brought to you by the Loreseekers podcast. In this lore series, we will explore the darkest corners of Tamriel to present to you some of the rarest and most intriguing lore books that we've discovered in our travels. Each episode will begin with the reading of the text. We will then continue with a brief explanation of the events surrounding the story. Although our goal is to be as accurate to the history as possible, remember that the lore in the Elder Scrolls is usually told from the perspective of its reader. So fill your mug and join us as we seek the lore of the deep and magical land of Tamriel. Legacy of the Dragonguard by Kiazaveda. Found in the Drain Dwellers outpost in the Imperial City sewers. As all school children know, northern Tamriel was invaded by a legion of Akaviri raiders in the First Era, year 2700. Mighty warriors with potent powers, these Akaviri cut a swath through Skyrim, defeating all opponents until they were met at Pale Pass by a Cyrodiilic army under the command of General Remen. After a brief battle, the Akaviri surrendered en masse to Remen, saying that in him they had found what they had come to Tamriel to seek. With the Akaviri added to his own army, Remen marched on, pacifying most of Tamriel, becoming emperor, and founding the Second Empire. The best and wisest of the Akaviri became the Dragonguard, under Emperor Remen's personal command. For the next 2 centuries, the Dragonguard protected the Remen dynasty, defending the emperors with abilities said to have been learned from the dragons themselves, which persisted in Akavir far longer than they did in Tamriel. But when Remen III was assassinated in year 2920, that was the end of the Remen dynasty, as well as the First Era. Officially, the Dragonguard was disbanded. Some said in shame at having failed to protect the Emperor. However, when the potentate Versidue Shai assumed the Ruby Throne, the Dragonguard was unofficially reactivated, more as an intelligence network than as an honor guard. Other former members of the Dragonguard followed different pursuits. Some joined their former centurion, Daenerys Vess, when he founded the organization that would later become known as the Fighters Guild. Others became roving adventurers, selling their services as combat trainers or swords for hire. One of these was a former Dragonguard whose name is now lost, and is known only to this chronicler as the Grand Master. He took it upon himself to ensure that the martial and mystical arts of the old Akaviri would survive into the new and turbulent Second Era. However, he would teach his skills only on condition that those he taught would go on to teach others. This was the origin of those whom we now call the Dragon Knights. In the earliest years of the Dragonguard's existence, these traveling Akaviri Seishi were known for slaying a number of dragons upon their arrival in Tamriel, following suit from their dragon-killing exploits in their homeland of Akavir. However, after their confrontation with the forces of Remen and his Imperial Legion at the Pale Pass in Cyrodiil, they would surrender and combine forces. This union of might would go on to conquer most of Tamriel, with the wisest and most skilled taking place at Remen's side as his personal guard. Remen Cyrodiil would become the emperor and found the Second Empire. Although at times turbulent, the relationship between the Akaviri Dragonguard and the Remen Empire remained until Remen III's death in the First Era, year 2920, when the Dragonguard would be officially disbanded. The organization split, with many of its members choosing their own paths. It wasn't until the rise of Versidue Shai the Seishi advisor to Remen III that the Dragonguard would see action as a group once again. In the Second Era, under Emperor Varen Aquilarios, the Dragonguard would be led by none other than Sai Sahan, a Redguard noble, master swordsman, and one of the original 5 companions. By this time, the champions who trained under Sai Sahan were no longer comprised of the Akaviri, but from all the races of Tamriel. During the Three Banners War, the fight for the Ruby Throne between the Ebonheart Pact, the Daggerfall Covenant, and the Aldmeri Dominion, one member of the Dragonguard in particular made her appearance. This nameless, enigmatic assassin would join forces with the Vestige to end the Daedric Prince Molag Bal's influence in the Imperial City. Sometime after that Daedric threat was culled, the Dragonguard would disband once again, forming into a new organization by the name of the Blades.